Hey crafty friends, this is Denise with PaperKraftD. Welcome to my 100-day project video series where I finish one quick paper crafting project every day for 100 days. I'm hoping these videos will inspire you to develop your own daily habit to practice your craft. Even if you only have 15 to 20 minutes, these videos are perfect for you. So if you're looking for ideas, inspiration, and motivation, I hope you join in and maybe even craft along with me. So let's get paper crafting. Today I'm going to recap and reflect on week 2 of the 100-day project. Before I launch into that though, I'd like to thank everybody who has watched my daily videos in this series over the past 2 weeks. I genuinely appreciate it, and I'm incredibly thankful for all of you who have reached out to start a dialogue by leaving me comments on my videos. I feel like I'm getting to know all of you personally, and I'm really excited about the community we're building here. I'd personally like to thank my new and returning friends, Femke Nielsen, Belinda Zimmer, Allison Havanuk, Sherry, aka Sherry Lynn, Vandy Girl, Fundraising Mom 2018, Maria with Angelfish Design, Lori with Positive Thanks Living, Grace with Serendipitous Crafter, and Kara Brandon. Your support and encouragement has kept me motivated to continue making daily videos. Okay, so what did we make this week? All right, so this week we started a series of cards in a Field Notes nature theme journal. On Monday, I explored the idea of using repetition to create cohesiveness in a body of work, and we applied these principles throughout the week. We made a bunch of drippy card mats using distress sprays that we'll use throughout this series. As a side note, I want to mention that to make these drips, I used a collapsible insert I bought at Target for a calyx-like cubby. And you can see this here. This is it collapses like this, so it's really nice. It's one of these, that you would put in one of those little cubbies. And it opens up and expands like this. And I generally keep a pair of gloves that are already inky just in here. Okay. Now I need to disclose that the way I used this box in that video isn't the way I normally use it. I never spray facing down like this. First of all, it's not the best way to get the ink because sideways like this, the little tube doesn't have anything that it holds on to, right? I mean, it's better if you're spraying with the bottle upright like this. So typically I have my box set up so the opening faces me as I sit down to my desk. So here's the opening right here where my hand's, going in, okay? Not facing up like it was in the video, okay? This allows me to rest the page or whatever I'm working on against the back of the box like this. I couldn't really do this from the top like this because I couldn't get down close enough, and I couldn't without my hand getting in the way of filming. So when it's facing me like this, I've got the card or whatever I'm working on resting like this, leaning up against the back of the box. Okay, so I'm never really holding the card while I'm doing the spraying. All right, so it's like that, but on its side like this. So the card is facing me. It's not down like this, it's facing me. All right. So this allows me to rest the page against the back wall and spray it without having to hold the item that I'm spraying. So I can just, the item's here, it's leaning against the back, and I can just spray it like this with the tube upright, not down like that, okay? That way I never get spray on my hands, though I still use gloves. And so I don't have the problem of transferring ink from my fingers to other cards like I did in the video. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna move this out of the way. Additionally, one of my subscribers suggested that I unscrew the tops of the sprays and use this tube that's inside of it to create drips on the paper so I have more control of where those drips go. Okay, so I've had some really, really bad spills doing this, so I didn't want to suggest that on camera for beginners. Full disclosure, I actually used eyedroppers like this when making the inspiration pieces for this card series for my Elizabeth Craft design team project. And the inspiration pieces are samples that I made for the release of this collection. Okay, so how did I keep these from spilling, you ask? Well, funny you should ask that. I used one of these gel pads, and I found that by using one of these little gel pads, I could stick the spray bottles to my desk in such a way that they wouldn't tip over. So, for example, I just took and placed them on the gel pad with the lids and the caps still on, facing me so I can, read what it is. And press it down, and then, I can knock it quite a bit. I mean, if I push really hard, it's going to go over. But, most likely in most scenarios, it's just going to be a light, a tap or something that's going to be causing this to go over. And that way, I could just take and, all right, this one's easier to get, and unscrew this. And then just kind of, have a little bit more control over where I was putting the ink. Now, you can see with this, you don't get a lot of ink on there. It's going to take a while for that to go down. There we go. So I just you can see this holds a lot more liquid. And then I have a lot more control over how much I'm putting on my paper in terms of drips, okay? So this is what I used for the design team projects that I made for the samples, okay? And you can see that works really, really well. Just using this end, it's really hard to get enough fluid on there to do that. And you can see it makes it so that I'm not as likely, and I'm not saying it doesn't ever happen, but I'm not as likely to tip this over. This side seems a little stickier than this side was. Okay, so now if you don't like the gel pads, it also comes in a roll like this, and then it's like little strips like this. I think this is actually what I used because I wanted to make sure that, what I had was super duper sticky and that, it hadn't been used for other things. And then I could make it as long as I wanted and use as many colors across the edge as I wanted to. So this, see, I'm putting those there. Yeah, that's a lot sturdier. Only because I've used this multiple times. Now I think I need to it's kind of cloudy. It needs to be washed. But, it's still good for lots of other things before I wash it. So I just wanted to kind of show you that's another option. And these are reusable over and over again if you keep the little backing that's on there. Okay, so these have plastic for either side, whereas this only has plastic for one side. So, you'd have to, if you wanted to use that over, you'd probably have to put it on maybe a sticker sheet or something like that, or a piece of wax paper, something like that, and then put this over the plastic back over the top of it. Okay, but you can see this is not going anywhere. I'm actually pressing it pretty hard and it's not going anywhere. So this is definitely what I used. And like I said, you know, you can make it as long as you want and have a whole row of distress inks lined up there ready for you to use, or you can make it short like this. And I think I just got these little droppers at Daiso, but if I see a link on Amazon, I will post a link in the description box below to those. Like I said, I'm also going to post a link to those sticky pads in the description box below, just in case you're interested in finding those. All right, so this is a great way to get drips if you don't like, you know, the splatter look on your project, if you just want the drips, or if you have a splatter like this and you don't want to do multiple sprays, but you want a drip, you could do the spray and then, you know, use that eyedropper and then drop it and be able to control where the drip goes. Okay, so from these bases, we made 3 cards this week and 1 set of pocket stuffers. The first project we made this week was this card. And, you know, we used the butterfly, we used a cluster that we had made last week, and then we took all the elements for this theme and put them into this card. And then for the second day, we made just the base of this card. Then we made the inserts to go in here, into this card. And then we colorized this one. Okay, and then on Friday we made this little base that is double-sided. One's more of a tree theme and the other one has insects. And they have pockets like this. And I'm going to be making inserts for this card this upcoming Monday. Okay. So now looking at these 3 cards that we made, you can tell more or less that they belong to the same theme. And they're all having to do with nature in some way, shape, or form. They have a similar color scheme with the craft, the white, and then the splatters. This one has the craft, has white down here, and then has splatters. It also has white right there. It has repetition of pattern with the splats. So the splats are both color and pattern. It has some background stamping. This one doesn't, but it will on the inserts. And it also has texture with fabric and stitching and trim. So you can see there's trim there, trim there, and I did some sewing on this one, though you can't see it really well. It just adds a little bit of texture. And there's sewing on this as well. Shows up a little bit better on this side. Okay, so the repetition of all of those elements gives a kind of cohesive look where you can tell just, you know, right off the bat that these all belong to the same series. So like I said, we're going to make the inserts for this card on Monday, both the front and the back. And then I might switch gears for a few days and revisit this field notes theme later. If there's anything in particular you'd like to see, please let me know. I'm just at this point feeling like I may need to make some videos that are a little bit shorter to kind of you know, have a little variation in all of this. And these card videos tend to be a little bit on the long side. So overall, this week has been a success. I'm absolutely loving what I've created so far, and based on your feedback, you seem to like it too. Filming went much more smoothly than last week. I had fewer technical difficulties, and I was able to film a little bit in advance so I didn't feel like I was constantly scrambling to post videos. That said, I'm still a little disappointed in my overall viewership numbers. I'd hoped this series would be more popular. However, I am so happy that people who are watching are really engaged. That's what's keeping me going at this point, and why I wanted to make it a point to personally thank the most active members of my community at the start of this video. This is something I'd like to continue to incorporate in my videos, at least on a weekly basis. Because my goal is to film daily videos a little bit in advance, it doesn't really work out to thank my subscribers every day like I had envisioned. Okay, so overall, I posted less on Facebook this week, but I did start posting on Instagram, but not daily. I really want to get on top of that, but I feel like I need to find my stride with the daily videos first. I mean, there's really only so much time in a day, right? If you enjoyed today's video, please give this a thumbs up, leave me a comment. I really would love to hear what you're doing and what your plans are for the 100-day project. And if you haven't yet subscribed and you enjoy this kind of content, I hope that you do so and that you share my channel with your friends. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Again, this is Denise with PaperKraftD, and craft on.